What is going on, guys? Hopefully you guys can hear me over this guy screaming. As you saw, it is about 104 degrees in this basement down here. uh, yeah, I'm starting to get into summer, and I'm having some issues with the dual epics, specifically with the VRM temperatures. I kind of figured that was gonna be a thing at some point. So I have, this is actually the Office 7K62. I moved it down here, and it's still okay. No issues so far. This is actually a brand new rig. It is one of Weed Farm Mining's 7B12s. He passed away, I want to say, last year sometime, maybe around a year ago at this point. So I bought one of his rigs off of his widow, and she was super nice and helpful. But this rig is really just a glorified GPU rig at this point. It is not CPU mining anything because the VRMs just can't keep up. They hit 90 degrees and the alarm goes off. So I even have a fan, but this fan is not powerful enough. I also tried an ASIC fan, but that thing was just wild. So I might use like a fan controller to run the ASIC fan and not have it full speed, because it was like just crazy fast. So we'll see. I'll figure something out with that. And I also got a brand new shelf. Yeah, so here's the old shelf. Little kind of dinkier, shorter shelf. This is the new one. It's an HDX. I also 3D printed some feet with bigger bases. Original feet, 3D printed, a lot more surface area. I might even want to print these even bigger, just so it doesn't wobble as much. I also did cut the feet down 3 inches total. I cut off, I think it was maybe 2.5, because this goes into the shelf about 1/2 inch or so. There was this gap was like way bigger, and these rigs were like up here. There was like no room to really get in there, so I decided to cut the feet off and just make it a bit lower, so I can have 3 on the bottom and 2 on top. And I still have 3 more of these shelves in theory, so I could set up another rig or like even more on the other side of the table, but this basement is just way too hot at this point. So I'm pretty much maxed out, I think, at least in the summertime, for how much I can run down here. I believe I'm around 300 watts, 5070s still, a bunch of 5070s here. FE up here, there's actually a 70 Ti in that rig. The Ti might be upstairs in a different rig. I think it's in the office rig. Yeah, with summer coming around, it's actually 104 in here now. I have to start figuring out some heat management stuff. Right now Atari is really good on CPUs. It's random X, so CPUs go crazy. If anything, I'll just idle the GPUs, and I'm sure they're dumping out a ton of heat. They're just running Cubic and Zealous, so they're not really as profitable. I'm sure if I turn off the GPUs, it'll drop the temperature down here a whole lot, but I would like to keep them running. Maybe I'll eventually get around to opening up this window that we have down here, maybe put like a mesh screen on it and build a little cover outside so rain can't get in maybe, but we haven't really figured that out yet. Or if it's super hot, I might just turn off, because I can't really keep up with the heat. I would like to keep the CPUs going because they're super good right now on Atari, but everything else is kind of meh. Just a quick update on new rig, dual 7B12, and then my new shelf that I got. Pretty much maxed out in terms of what I can do with power and temperatures down here. We got this rig pulling 1,000 watts. This entire setup, including the KS0, is also pulling around 3,000 watts. So we're around 4,000 watts total. I underestimated a little bit. Grab one of these guys, It's just a fan controller, and run the ASIC fan on the 7B12 and see how that goes. Maybe it'll help with temperatures. I don't know. The mounting, it kind of vibrates a lot, so we'll see. Then I also have these for sale, which are like just test benches. I'm using them on all my Epic rigs, and they're made out of PETG and they hold up well. It's like 100 degrees in here for weeks. They're perfectly fine, so if you guys want any, let me know. They take about like 12 hours to print and stuff, so super light, so shipping won't be a problem. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get this guy hooked up and run the ASIC fan on this dual 7B12 up here and see how that goes. But so far I'm gonna try to keep mining. If worst comes to worst, I'll turn off my GPUs, turn them to idle, and just have my CPUs running. This guy is pumping out a ton of heat. I mean, it's at 100% fan speed, so he's probably the reason why this room is so hot. That's about all I got. It's getting quite hot down here. I will see you guys in the next video.